You are watching World at War with Dean Ryan, weeknights, 10 p.m. Eastern, only on Real Deal Media.
Everybody knows, but I don't say enough now. It wasn't sound so very loud, but now I want to hear. I got something it's keeping me pointing, but down another way to roll, back home. Slowly down the hall.
My big mouth is not as big as this hurricane. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. It's much bigger. That's right. Welcome, everybody. This is Real Deal Media's #1 late night show, World at War. I'm your late night host, Dean Ryan, and tonight we have a whopper and epic, fantastic show tonight. Yes, we do. It's entitled Eye of the Hurricane. We're going to be getting into everything Hurricane Milton, everything Hurricane Helena, and whatever's next on the Deep State menu here at the Deep State Cafeteria, where we're trying to survive each and every day, every minute of it. And we're met with new obstacles, and people are really stepping up to the challenge, those who know. There's a lot of anomalies along the way, but we're certainly managing to get through this. We have a lot of people who are in Florida right now. I myself have a lot of friends. In fact, James Grunvig was going to be joining us live tonight from Sarasota, Florida, which is right in the kind of the hallway of everything that's coming from the just ungodly Category 5 now. We'll be getting into that. And joining us coming up in a little bit here is my longtime colleague, my good friend, Jon Bowne from InfoWars will be here with us in his latest discoveries on this just unusual weather hurricane format this time of year. Just when you were digesting the last one, he's going to be sharing what he has discovered, what he found, and his just excellent new show that he's going to be sharing with us here tonight. You don't want to miss that. That's going to be during our Real Deal Politics. So we'll be talking about that. Plus, we have some major news. A lot of good news coming from Mike Adams. I'll be sharing with you here tonight. He has shared a message he wanted me to relay to this incredible, effective audience around the world. I'll be doing that for him and for all of us on his progress in relief efforts. Plus, Hillary Clinton, the decrepit cow fertilizer, is back from the graveyard just in time to tell us that she needs more censorship. Yes, we'll be talking about that, but plus some breaking news, exclusive news we shared with you in our new article at realdealmedia.tv right now. It should be on there if we're not attacked or taken down by now. We'll be talking about some exclusive intel I received from all the way from Helsinki. Am I saying it right? Over there in Finland. I'll try to get the pronunciation right by the time we have that segment, about some major ballot harvesting that has been underway right here in the United States. They don't want this going out. Oh no, that's why our own web host is blocking us from getting articles out in this transmission. Can you believe it? Our own damn web host. Those are the kind of fights I'm doing behind the scenes. Not just the pesky little white-collar fights in the alleyway, big ones. Plus some major Border Patrol news and a very unusual rescue happening somewhere in Pennsylvania about a woman who was swarmed with raccoons because, as you know, all the critters and all the animals are going wild right now with all the weird weather. I certainly saw it in the lead up to that earthquake in California. So anyways, we are broadcasting pretty much all over the place on Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Yes, we are here tonight as we are on the front lines doing this for our humanity and team humanity, that is. But anyways, let's get started with a few headlines from around the world and in your neck of the woods, shall we? Yes, there it is. There's that wonderful view from my penthouse. Well, let's get started here tonight as there's so much to cover in so little time to get there. As now Tampa Bay has warned their own citizens for the past 24 hours that Hurricane Milton is coming. And if you stay here, you're in the eye of the hurricane, you're going to die. Welcome to the jungle. That's right. Welcome to the jungle. Thank you, Joe Biden. But let's talk more about it here as things are rumbling now. Yes, that's true. Yes. The mayor of Tampa Bay is now warning Floridians about Hurricane Milton, saying, quote, if you stay, you die. You die now. You die good. Huh. Yeah, the latest catastrophe headed towards Florida is Hurricane Milton, Category 4 as of yesterday. Today it's 5, if not 6. We'll find out from Jon Bowne coming up soon. Well, it's a monster now that Tampa Bay Mayor Jane Castor, that wonderful, we're not sure what she is warning the public will kill anyone, Hurricane Milton, who does not evacuate before its arrival. I have a feeling they're going to be killing everybody if they don't leave. But that's just me. Well, in a statement to the CIA News Network, Jane Castor, or as we know her, Jim Castor, specifically warned residents of Tampa Bay surrounding areas that if they choose to stay in one of those evacuation areas, you're going to die. Unquote. Literally. That's what it said. Well, the once-in-a-lifetime storm, as they're calling it, this is the once-in-a-lifetime storm, started out small, rapidly intensifying from Category 1 to Category 5 in a matter of New York minutes. Just this past Monday, with sustained winds surpassing a just record-breaking 180 miles per hour. Since that time, winds have slowed ever so slightly to bring Milton down to a Category 4 for now, but now it's back up to 5 is what we're hearing. And there's still a lot more warm, open water to go before the storm reaches Tampa Bay. Now, the National Hurricane Center says Milton could regain its strength while growing in size. This would pose a, quote, even more danger for the people of Tampa Bay, which have not seen a storm anywhere close to this size in over 100 years. This is weather warfare, everybody. I mean, we all know that around here, but just to show you what I'm talking about, this is coming out of Tampa Bay right now. Now look.
Winds in the east, mist coming in. Like something is brewing, about to begin. Can't put me finger on what lies in store. I feel what's to happen. All happened before.
Chim chimney, chim chim charoo, as some weird things seem to be coming from anything but a chimney, but from a hurricane instead. Yes, this is weather warfare. Anyone who lives under a rock even knows that. Well, if it makes you feel better, Biden has now approved an emergency declaration while pledging to, quote, life-saving resources in advance of the storm. Now, to avoid any further public relations nightmare that came from Helena, well, alleged president, I should say, Biden is getting ahead of Milton by approving this declaration to save lives. Now, it's worth noting Florida Governor Ron DeSantis now has reportedly stocked up his state with millions of gallons of fuel and truckloads of food, water, and medical supplies. There's also flood protection systems and, yes, Starlink modules being distributed to help safeguard critical infrastructure, things that FEMA doesn't want you to know about. Yes, now, as far as looters are concerned who might try to take advantage of things during this time, DeSantis has promised harsh penalties to anyone who's caught. He said he will throw the book at anyone who's caught taking advantage of storm victims. Yes, it's true. Continuing now, well, there's another attack we shared with you just the other day, the biggest utility attack on the water supply that we've ever seen in quite some time. Let me tell you more about it because this is coming out of Natural News now, and we should be just so grateful they have their eye on the ball there. Well, yes, the water utility attack in the measures of war and how to do it properly in the communist manifestos would show you, as well as the rules for radicals. Well, the American water, nation's largest water utility, has now been hit by a cyber attack that left call centers with, quote, limited functionality. That's right, customers of the nation's largest water utility, American Water, were left unable to pay their bills this past week after a cyber attack left the company's billing system non-operational. It's absolutely true. The American Water System said it's identified, quote, unauthorized activity taking place within its computer networks and systems that was later determined to be a cybersecurity incident. It deactivated and disconnected certain key elements of the system. Now, once again, this demonstrates the risk involved with the tech revolution. Cyber attack resulted in temporary billing pause for American Water customers. Reports indicate as company's call center was left with, quote, limited functionality of 14 million people in 14 different states who rely on the water to live. Wow. It just never seems to end. Is there anything good that can just come in these times of confusion and war? Well, Mike Adams seems to think so, and it's highlighted right there with the Health Ranger Relief. Well, let me tell you about a statement that Mike has shared with all of us, and I want to read it for you, because as well as some other things that are now coming down the pikeway. Well, Mike has shared with me the following, and let me read it to you. As he shared about his efforts to provide food for a lot of the East Coast, especially those who are affected by Hurricane Helena, and the prevention of helping our very own countrymen. Well, he said, incoming intel today. Now, FEMA is waiving ungodly amounts of money at private security firms right now as we speak, begging for security contractors to station at Florida to prevent Floridians returning to their homes and businesses after the storm hits. Now, the evacuations order are to push out Florida, keep them out. Reportedly, Delta Force personnel advising FEMA at the top, devising a denial of area enforcement plans, which will be enforced at gunpoint if required. This is huge. Now, Mike is now being told in Natural News that FEMA is practically panicked to get enough armed personnel on the site, anticipating tremendous amount of resistance from displaced people who want to return home to salvage whatever they can. Now, this is the next step of the escalation ladder as the federal government wages war against the American people. Many of us saw FEMA carrying out in North Carolina. What we saw them carrying out is now happening in Florida, actively hindering rescue efforts to maximize starvation and death. To the people, do not escalate, Mike Adams has warned. Hold your ground peacefully and firmly. This looks like a J6-style trap to provoke insurrection, declare martial law, to cancel the election. There we have it right there. On the positive side of it now, this is coming from the Health Ranger store and his relief efforts. He has shockingly raised over $500,000 as the final total of food fundraising through healthrangerstore.com /relief. and his abundance.church. Now, he was expecting maybe 100,000, but because of this large audience and his audience all around the world, they have taken it to the next level and fed the people that need it in a nightmare situation. So there is good news at hand. I can report to all of you here tonight as we finish our Real Deal headlines. Wow, let's get to Real Deal Politics as Jon Bowne is on deck. Is our reunion here. It's been a long time. It's about 7 years now in the making. He's going to be up here in one moment. Yes, Real Deal Politics. So much to get to, and what better way to start something so sinister than with a Hillary Clinton-esque infused story? But before we do, there's the breaking news. And if you haven't heard about it, it's right on top of realdealmedia.tv right now as we speak. I can share with you ballot harvesting has been intercepted. Yes, it's true. Now, according to our source who is in Helsinki, excuse me, I butchered it like a total moron earlier, but I fixed it now. Helsinki, Finland. A lot of the heads of the EU were all gathered there. We have a mole inside of that system, but let me share with you what we heard. We have a source over there in Helsinki, Finland, as a conversation was held between several EU officials admiring the Democrat Party strategy for elections, aka ballot harvesting. The EU officials wanted to mirror, these EU officials I'm speaking about, want to mirror what the DNC has achieved in previous elections, the use of pre-filled ballots, aka ballot harvesting. Well, during this exchange, it was revealed that several states in the U.S. States, including Arizona, Utah, and Wyoming, well, they were intercepted, these pre-filled ballots of Kamala Harris. They've now been officially intercepted. This occurrence further highlights the, quote, democratic process in America is well on its way of being tried and tested. As many polls have indicated, Trump leads Kamala amongst blue-collar workers in key battlegrounds, but will it be enough to overhaul the ballot harvesting of cheating? Well, Hillary Clinton seems to agree so, and so much so she wants more censorship now, damn it. Well, let me tell you about this. Yeah, that's right. Hillary Clinton says more internet censorship is needed to keep establishment from losing, quote, total control. Well, during an appearance on the CIA News Network, the two-time failed presidential just hack and as well hag, Hillary Clinton gushed at length about how badly she wants big tech to censor Americans even more now than ever, as they're being censored into oblivion. Well, she says, unless the establishment wants to lose total control of everything, social media companies need to do a whole lot more to silence users who depart from official narratives. Unbelievable. And then finally here, as we were sharing with you, one of the three states, this just happened to happen today, Arizona, Utah, and Wyoming. Well, today, Arizona over there in Phoenix, they got caught cheating big time. Oh, yes. That's absolutely true. They were caught in Phoenix. A Mexican man was caught in Phoenix registering illegal DACA aliens to vote in 2024 election. That's right. Well, this is coming out of the Real Muckraker, proves that illegal aliens are being registered to vote in swing states like Arizona in order to throw the election towards Kamala Harris. A said to be Mexican man was spotted at a local grocery store offering knowingly free IDs to register non-citizen illegal aliens under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program to vote in the upcoming election. Wow. So it correlates with what I had to share from Helsinki. You see how this is? Now, someone who is going to be joining us here, and we're going to be taking some of your questions and answer. Well, we're going to provide some answers, hopefully, but we're going to do a little Q&A after the break with Jon Bowne. But if you haven't noticed, Jon has a wonderful new report out. It's called the Bowne Report. You can't miss it. It's something to be seen. Here's a little preview of what that looks like. Well, you know what? I don't think we have that preview. We don't have that on us just yet, but here's what's happening now in St. Peter's St. Pete Beach over there.
Unfortunately, we just went through a hurricane, and now we're due for another one. We're not looking forward to it, so we're packing up and we're going to head out to safer, higher ground.
I'm in St. Pete Beach, Florida, which got really hit by Hurricane Helene, and now folks here are bracing for Hurricane Milton. You can see behind me there's National Guard troops who are rushing to remove a lot of the debris that's still left after Hurricane Helene. And then you can see over on the other side of the street behind me, going all the way up the street, there are piles of debris in front of the houses here. So people are really trying to clear this stuff because they're afraid it's going to become projectiles with the new hurricane that's coming in.
I would say all of our neighbors here, we did, within this little perimeter here, we all stayed and we're all leaving this time.
Well, there you have it. A wonderful little rendition there of what seems to be happening from the locals' point of view. That's so key. Let's welcome to World at War for the first time in a reunion of 7 years, I believe, about 5 years, 5 to 7 years. The one, the only, Jon Bowne, all the way from an undisclosed look. John, how are you doing? Jon Bowne.
I'm doing great. I'm out here in the woods and checking on the critters out here and making sure that they're okay, because they're the most important thing, especially this time of night. And, you know, I saw a chipmunk, and I think I saw probably some kind of lynx earlier. So, and it's near me right now. So,
yeah, that happens, John. But I want to talk about your
if I'm a little nervous.
Well, I'm just glad we found each other all these years later. We found each other, you know, we go back all the way back to my InfoWars days, which you're still there, and it's absolutely crazy. I want to get into that, but let's get into what you're doing on your. Let's get into what you're doing on the Jon Bowne report. I have it right here.
It is October 8th, 2024, and this is the Bowne report. Coming up, Hurricane Milton sends 4 million plus north as American infrastructure is crippled.
This is literally catastrophic. And I can say without any dramatization whatsoever, if you choose to stay in one of those evacuation areas, you're going to die.
John, let's talk about it, because you seem to be on the ball with this very evolving hurricane that's affecting the entire East Coast. What do we know thus far?
Okay, well, Dean, basically what I've been thinking about while you were doing your excellent introduction there, and by the way, I love watching your show, man. It's so good to have the stream of consciousness, the creativity. It really is a breath of fresh air, and I hope you have success with this because you deserve it. This is the way that you should do a show. So I've been really kind of thinking where does this all begin? And I think it begins in the jungles of Vietnam.
Well, that kind of is where places begin, but we're having our own Vietnam wars right here. There's people that are all swamped out in Florida. You have Delta Force who's arming FEMA to the teeth. We heard reports that they're going to execute people that don't follow measures, and they slipped up saying that the other day.
Well, let me explain what I mean by Vietnam.
Please do so.
What I mean is that during the advance on the Ho Chi Minh Trail in North Vietnam during the Vietnam War, we used weather weapons. It was called Operation Popeye, and it was basically pushed through by the CIA and Henry Kissinger, no less. And they didn't get the approval they actually needed, and they just pushed it through. And that's when Congress in 72 started looking at what was being done, in the darkness of night in Vietnam, and created this let me read it exactly here. It's maintaining records and submitting reports on weather modification activities, authorized December 18th, 1971 is when it all started. So I was just for shits and giggles, I was 10 months old. Is that right? Yeah. 10 months one day. And so they came out with this, and basically it oversaw the administrator of NOAA, first off, and then any individual that had the wherewithal to build some kind of weather modification device, and then any kind of government related projects and all that. And so that the 70s were a very interesting time for the deep state. They were getting their asses handed to them, and there were a lot of hearings. You know, we could do an entire documentary on the hearings of the 1970s, but I'll focus on this one. And so weather modification has been known for a very long time, and especially during the time when Joe Biden was a young buck senator. And so he knows. So when he came out there today behind that tiny desk, which has to be some kind of ceremony they're having with him, some kind of
Well, John, I'm glad you brought that up. I wanted to talk about that because trending right now on Twitter as well as Infowars, that's still around, is just that. Is everything you mentioned is Biden knowingly, openly using weather warfare on the American people, but specifically to target, sad to say politically, but to target swing states and even red states themselves. I mean, just how prevalent is that charge there? Because now more than ever, the American people don't see things as conspiracy anymore, but they see things as a rite of passage to finding their freedom and ultimate truth here.
You know what they see, and this is why this is such a great quote, and it's from I believe a veteran of Vietnam, and he said that the American dream has run out of gas, the car has stopped, it no longer supplies the world with its images, its dreams, its fantasies, no more, it's over. It supplies the world with its nightmares now. The Kennedy assassination, Watergate, Vietnam, and what we're witnessing right now. You know, and that's it's a CIA
right.
And that kind of destroyed.
This is Operation Popeye. I've studied that. They've mastered this. They beta tested this during the Vietnam War, John. They've managed to use our own soldiers in foreign shores, you know, things that Ron Paul warned us about. You know, even people from back in the day, I remember people like would used to say if the troops were really fighting for our freedom, they would come back home and fight our own government here because we are 5 minutes past midnight. But John, I want to ask you too, as now we're saying this, you know, we're getting the efforts and the relief out there from individuals like Mike Adams, even the information from individuals like yourself. It's so key that we get this out there. But now we hear Hillary Clinton, as you saw, literally calling for more censorship. And then on top of that, I'm hearing from our contact all the way in Helsinki, three states ballot harvesting was intercepted from Kamala Harris. It was, as I put this on screen here, wonderful, thank you very much, is Utah, Arizona, and Wyoming. They caught Kamala Harris. When is this going to come out in the mainstream? Probably not until after the hurricane, but I really believe with everything that they're getting intercepted,
caught her doing what?
Ballot harvesting. They caught a bunch of filled ballots, and it makes sense why they have to do this hurricane now, because she doesn't have a chance in hell to win legitimately. Do you see it that way, Jon Bowne?
Oh, she's already lost. I mean, anybody with any kind of sense of being an American gets a really bad vibe from her, I would imagine. I mean, I do. The more you see her, the more she talks. It's like, just from a primitive state of mind, not a political state of mind or anything like that, just as a human being, it's like, God, I got to listen to that for 4 years. You know.
Exactly. John, I want to hold you over. We have a quick break coming up, but I want to get into what's happening with Infowars here. Stand by there. We have to take this quick break. We have to fix some things behind the scenes. But when we get back, I want to get into what's happening to Infowars, what's happening to the George Soros media takeover. He's literally buying 250 plus stations right now in the U.S. in the lead up to November. Why? Just exactly what stations is he buying? And what are we going to do to get the word out to stop him? Is this even legal? And all the chaos ensuing behind the scenes right now at Infowars and all of alternative media. So stand by. You're watching World at War with Dean Ryan here. I'm live with Jon Bowne. We're going to get him back. And we'll be back after this quick message. Don't go anywhere. Jim, you want to change your vote? You can still do it at this time.
No, I want to say we have a wonderful pizza place here called Sugar River Pizza, and they've got specialty pizzas that are to die for. I want to mention two in particular. One called ricotta, be kidding me, red sauce, pepperoni sausage, whipped herb ricotta, and oregano, and kicking horse for a war. Red sauce, pepperoni, sausage, jalapenos, red onion, pepper jack. Those are two unbelievably good pizzas.
He called them suckers and losers. Who in the hell does he think he is? Who does he think he is?
Who does he think he is, Sean Gregorian? Who does that guy think he is?
Well,
who does Sean think he is? Oh, man. It's best to say he was muted. We have Lena Star Moon, who might know what the deal is. She said, that's a deep thought, Sean. It's so deep, we can't even measure it. How deep it is. Oh, Maddie Lynn, who says, baby Sean. Yes, Sean is a baby. He needs to be pampered. And how's that diaper rash? Okay, we are back. We are back, everybody. Welcome back. I am still Dean Ryan, your cruise director, cruising with you to midnight and beyond. Yes, I am. No doubt about it. We have a long way to go and a short time to get there, as tonight is brought to you by you, the Real Deal Media members, and everyone who has donated to Real Deal Go. Thank you. You know who you are. You are helping the fight here as we fight for our lives. Become a visionary debonair, be iconic and not ironic, but also be a player from the Himalaya. Be a member, Night Owl. Join tonight, realdealmedia.tv/membership. Okay, let's get to this. And also, you can also join Mike Adams' efforts. Go to healthrangerstore.com/relief. Help feed our fellow countrymen. Okay, well, here's something that we're going to bring, like I was saying, a reunion of sorts. I should have done it before, but the proper introduction. I'm going to bring back the legendary Jon Bowne back to stage. John, get back here. Okay, there you are, John. Welcome back. I'm glad you're in the woods there. It's so good to see you. I'm going to read through some things here, John. I'm going to get your take on it. And we're also going to talk about what's happening with Infowars. But if you're just joining us, John's been doing some incredible work at Substack. Go find him. But he's been doing some very incredible work on the Hurricane Milton. But here's some things we know now. We know about Delta forces advising FEMA preparing enforcement tactics to involve force if necessary. This is why somebody slipped up and said, we need to execute 30,000 people, and then said, we need to exodus many people. Well, you changed it. Also, CBS has now ambushed Kamala and her starting to do journalism, they've said. Biden contradicted Kamala and said DeSantis is doing a great job. CNN criticized Kamala. So she is on the downtrodden turn. But here's the big ones here regarding the hurricanes. Duke Energy owns the dams that release the water in North Carolina. They also own Hawaii Electric, the Hawaiian and the Lahaina fires, very eerily similar. And Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street are the top shareholders of Duke Energy. John, what's your take on that? And then let's get into everything happening behind the scenes with InfoWars and media as we know it.
Okay, so throw your first question at me.
What do we know about the state, the Blackguard, or excuse me, the BlackRock, the Vanguards owning all of these energy groups, everything where the hurricane hit in Helena? We see the same thing happening here in Florida. What do we know about that at this time?
Okay, well, you have Maui. You can look at Maui. There's something going on in the Tetons right now in Wyoming. It has to do with our resources. And if you've got, I mean, this is such a huge topic, but I'm just going to try to scratch the surface here. I mean, you have China involved. They want all our resources. They own the world's resources. We have an illegitimate criminal government running our country, and everybody's in on the take, as we saw during COVID. So this is just a new take. This is just a new mafia operation by our criminal government that runs our country. So BlackRock and Vanguard, they're just part of the City of London, New World Order, Combine, World Economic Forum, party. And by
yes,
party,
they are.
I mean like eyes wide shut kind of party.
That party. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Now I get it.
It's not separate entities. They're all tied in together. That's why it is a new world order. So when you say BlackRock and Vanguard, they're really just tentacles of the octopus.
Yeah, a shady group of people. We have we have some people who are chiming in here. Yes, we reported yesterday.
I will say
Go
real
ahead.
quick, in North Carolina, they have the quartz that they have in the mountains, which they use for cell phones, and there is a good amount of lithium up there. But the quartz that they have is the finest quartz in the United States, and so it's not, it's 0.9999. So that's a huge, but the thing is though, we don't have all the information. So then you have, and so you hear from a guy that actually works at the quartz mine, and you would think if they're going to rob the quartz mine, that they'd already be there and have some people there, but there's nobody there. There's nobody looking at it. So it's kind of weird, but the way that these people operate is they're all lawfare vultures, man. And Kamala's like, one of the biggest of them all. She's left a trail of misery behind her. She's ruined lots of people's lives through lawfare, and so that's what these people do, man.
Well, John, I mean, let me address this. Mary Roberts says Wyoming is burning. Yes, Mary, I did a whole piece on that last night. Not many people are reporting on Wyoming, the beautiful Wyoming burning. I wonder if Cheney started it himself. Here we have Bryant Patel says, "Hey Dean, what do you think about
Cheney's ghost?"
Cheney, yeah, if he's still alive. He says, "Hey Dean, what do you think about the hurricane that was steered at CENTCOM? If the deep state wanted to take out CENTCOM, could we be invaded?" John, you want to take that?
Well, that was in my report last night. CENTCOM controls pretty much since long before 9/11, back in the Schwarzkopf days. They pretty much are the main military intelligence that we have they are the main military intelligence that we have in the Middle East and Central Southeast Asia. Southeast or just South, whatever. But they've got more bases covered than anybody. So there's that angle of, that's national security stuff right there. And it just seems like the president that I have in my mind that should exist right now would be this, this big boisterous asshole basically, but he'd be like, you know, we got to make sure that the American people understand that we've got to take care of our national security. And by God, we're gonna surround CENTCOM with everything we've got, you know, and that should be the press conference instead of this demented old pervert coming out
Now,
and accusing everybody.
what is CENTCOM though, John? What is CENTCOM for people who may not know? How do you explain what CENTCOM is?
Okay, so we have military intelligence bases that handle parts of the world, the military operations in parts of the world, and we've got, is it 18 to 20 of them, something like that, but maybe less than that. I have to look that up. But CENTCOM is the main one, and since 9/11, they've pretty much handled everything that we've seen. A lot of you people have seen your whole lives. Militarily, CENTCOM has been handling all of that, and that base, the MacDill Air Force Base, is in Tampa, and it's about
right here.
It's about to get smacked.
Look at this.
There's a bunch of important things in Tampa.
Wow, I never even knew this before. So Central Command, U.S. Central Command, is based in Tampa.
Yeah.
So who is doing this? Is this a foreign adversary doing this to the United States, or is this the bad actors within? Because could this be China making their move as Israel trying to escalate war?
That's what I'm saying. You got to be ready for all that, man.
Holy shit.
You know, that's the thing is, like, when I've been doing this every day for 15 years, man. And so when I see what's happening, I don't sit around and scratch my head. I know exactly what the fuck is going down. Sorry.
Here we have Becky Pescatore says Central Command is at DEFCON 2. Thank you, Becky. Let me go to Rumble real quick.
Okay.
Let's go to Rumble, and then I have we have Michael Deacon, who's going to be joining us about tomorrow night's big show. He'll be joining us shortly here. We're going to tell Michael stand by, as I was running a little late this evening. We have, biggest in the world. We also have
freaking owl got up there on my camera. Turned it off.
Yes, they want to control the weather, as Biden has said that. We also have that reporting several sheriffs in Texas have deputized 10,000 militias dispatched to North Carolina and other states. Thank you, Rebel Mama. We heard about that. That is big time. Okay, so let's talk some turkey here, John, before we I know we have a few minutes left. And I'll show the DEFCON Central Command again, Regina, in just a tad. Please remind me.
Good Lord. Okay, DEFCON 2 where?
We have DEFCON 2 at Central Command over there in Tampa Bay. Right now, as we speak, they're under DEFCON 2 as it's being targeted. This is huge. This is happening in real time, everybody.
The thing is, so the thing is that they've been saying there's going to be a black swan event since the beginning of this year. And Hillary Clinton has been, as she does, she's been bragging in the press about there ain't going to be no election, basically. And this may be the way they do it.
It makes the most sense to me. Well, here it is. U.S. Central Command priorities: deter Iran. Okay. Counter violent extremists, compete strategically, regional constructs integrated. I mean, Jon Bowne, this plays right into this 28th Amendment they wanted to get passed that was literally specifically focused on a mass casualty event on the East Coast. And here we are with this perfect, the great storm, the most perfect, ideal storm to eradicate the election. I'm now learning this now. This is incredible. But here's something else, Sean. I know in about a minute or two we have left, a lot of people have had heavy hearts for everybody at InfoWars. I know a lot of good people that work there. I learned a lot of my skill from actually yourself, and some others who made me the editor I am today. So I have to thank you for that, John. But a lot of people are saying, what's going on with InfoWars? This is unreal, unholy, what's happening to Alex and everybody who's involved. What can you tell us now? What's happening behind the scenes?
Okay, so the thing with InfoWars is for years we've been surviving lawsuits and other things that have tried to take us down. We have pledge drives and stuff like that, and then we survive and we keep going. So I understand that there are a lot of people out there that don't want to. I mean, if I didn't work at InfoWars, I'd understand. I'd be like, yeah, they're going through this thing again or whatever it is. But this is it. This is the end. This is the end of InfoWars on November November 8th, somewhere between November the 8th and November the 13th. Now, what happens on that end is, so in about a week, Alex is going to trial to keep his name, his social media and stuff like that. He's fighting to get his social media, and they're doing everything in their power to shut us down as soon as possible. They want to shut down tomorrow. So
wow.
They're trying to do it around the time when Alex goes to court on the 17th. And
John, I heard a rumor. I heard a rumor that Soros. Can you talk about Soros? Who's trying to buy all kinds of media?
That's what I'm saying. So when we get to the auction period, which has already been set by the bankruptcy court on November the 8th, or around that time, there will be an auction, and we have bidders that could possibly, and I know who they are. I don't want to name them because that's not my job, but you know, right-wing establishment, billionaire TV people that want to buy us and basically just turn it back over to Alex, and everything keeps smoothly going on. You know, we just lose. Well, we don't lose anything. The only thing we would lose is that Alex would lose being the boss of InfoWars, but it would still remain exactly the same. So that is still a positive,
interesting,
possible alternative universe we could enter. But at the same time, the Soros and the deep state and Hillary Clintons and the World Economic Forums, they're, you know, I mean, they do dirty they're killing us, basically. They're doing dirty tricks on us. So these people are the kings and queens and demons of lawfare. So they're going to do everything in their power to steal this auction and get InfoWars, basically. And so if they win,
no doubt about it.
If they win, then
no doubt
InfoWars,
about it.
Yeah, InfoWars is no more.
Jon Bowne, how can people find you, support you? You have a wonderful new Substack you just had going here. It's just fantastic. People love your reports, especially on this channel, in this network. A lot of people want to just follow your incredible work. I'm one of them. How can people do that, Jon Bowne?
They can go to Bowne Reports, or Bowne Report, actually. I need to change that. It's bownereport.substack.com. And I'm doing a Monday through Friday. I don't have a set time right now. I'm still experimenting with a lot of things. You know, as far as the show goes, but you know, I've been in media pretty much my whole life. And so if I'm able to do this, and this involves, it's a one-man band, but I've acquired these skills over pretty much my whole life. So I can run a nightly news that informs everybody of the news that they actually need and want to see.
Sure.
That's it, you know.
And like I said, you know, John's probably one of the most talented reporters out there today. His editing skill is second to none. And, you know, we worked on some films and things in the past, so I learned a lot from Jon. So, Jon, I'm so glad we can reunite all these years later, and it's so good to see you and that you're healthy and standing strong during this time of a pandemic war.
Yeah, it's great to see you too. Thanks for having me on the show. I can't believe I'm actually on the show. This is cool. And,
yeah, finally, all this time later.
Next time, though, you know, next time I'll have to do a whole song for you. But
yes, we'll do a whole song. There you have it. Jon Bowne, everybody. Jon Bowne. You can find him on Substack, and he'll be a recurring guest on here. All right. Thank you very much, Jon. Thank you very much. There you have it. Okay. We're going to continue now. We are running out of time here as per usual. But if you know what we're all about here in this month of Shocktober, is we are about getting you this information, no matter how ugly or how unsophisticated it may appear. We're trying to do the best we can here. And doing that, starting tomorrow night, you're going to see usually I'm on Thursdays or Fridays, one or the other. It's a lottery kind of system around here. Just that's the way the nature is. But tomorrow night, Thursday, you'll be seeing the Michael Deacon program come to Real Deal Media with a news edition, a live premiere tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern. And someone who's going to be talking about this, we'll get his take on everything going on real quick, is the one, the only friend of the show, Michael Deacon. Michael, welcome to World at War here tonight.
Hello, Dean. How you doing?
Michael, it's a whirlwind, man. I mean, there's so much going on. You know, I had John here, and John, if you can hear me, I'll say bye to you after the show. But so much going on here, Michael. Just, you know, what can people expect from you on this? Because you have a very just unique take on the hurricane and everything happening in politics right now. And like I said, tomorrow night. So what can people expect here tomorrow night with the Michael Deacon program news edition?
Well, first and foremost, I do want to thank you and say hello to all of you guys out there listening right now here at World at War. And of course, I'll be making my debut here tomorrow night. And I invite all of you out there to check out the show tomorrow. That's at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And of course, that is 10 p.m. Eastern Time for you lovely folks out there in the East Coast. And of course, I'll be talking about the news and things that you really care about and things that will intrigue the mind. And my God, how can I even follow up after your first guest here, Dean, and dropping that bombshell of a story? I mean, InfoWars being no more. I mean, really, it's an end of an era.
Oh, absolutely. They were the Tonight Show, the Johnny Carson for everything alternative media. I mean, you weren't anything until you made it to the main InfoWars stage. It just shows you how just rotten the people running the show right now are, and such disdain they have. I mean, Michael, you've been following the hurricane like all of us have. Something that was a category 1. Remember what they said last week too? Oh, it just might be a little storm, and then here we are. Oh, what do you know? It's a category 5. Well, we got to get going now. Good luck to you. I mean, this is warfare, Michael.
It really is. None of this is even organic, nor does it surprise me, and it shouldn't surprise any of you out there. They've been messing with the weather for decades now, and I don't think this is going to improve anytime soon. And as you mentioned here earlier on the program, these people out there are just being torn to shreds already, and I expect more of that coming up here soon in Florida.
Absolutely soon. Quick take here, because I know people are going to hear this tomorrow night. I don't want to spoil the whole treat, but you know, I know you're a political aficionado too, an onlooker like us all right now. What do you think about this? I just put it out there, the ballot harvesting. I mean, is this any surprise, or is it surprise that it was intercepted this time? So there's not going to be election if they're intercepting treason and election interference, which clearly they've intercepted that in 3 states. You heard it here first. Remember, everybody, you heard it here first. Wyoming, Arizona, and Utah. They caught Kamala Harris. We got it from the inside. You're not going to hear that anywhere. But if we got the treason, we got the interference in the political world, and now they're trying to do the interference in the weather warfare. Michael Deacon, what is your outlook for an election this 2024 season here as we finish the year?
It's not positive. I got to be honest with you. The higher, I guess you could say, the higher echelon out there, rather, these people, I'm telling you, they already have it out and set for the American people. They already have elected, quote unquote, they already have elected Kamala Harris. That's going to be someone that this is heartbreaking. I really did not even want to get into this because it's been really annoying me and bothering me so much. The fact that we might have Kamala Harris as our president, that should be something that should disgust all of you out there. And again, I wasn't even prepared to talk about Kamala since it really makes the blood boil. Dean, I got to be honest with you, but that's who the higher powers want. And that's what we're going to get, Dean, whether we like it or not.
Well, we're trying to put a stop to that, but the fix is in, and I think this begins the breakup of the United States as we know it. There's a lot of people who are not going to stand for this. The fix is in, but Michael, I will be listening tomorrow night. If you want to catch more Michael Deacon, the Michael Deacon Program News Edition, live tomorrow night, Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern, on Facebook and Rumble. You don't want to miss that. You catch them on the Real Deal Media channels, and it's just really exciting times, and the best of times and the worst of times, Michael. So we can't wait to have you on board with the RDM train here.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm very, very excited for this. I've been looking forward to this one for quite some time. And your audience is great. I like all the people out there. You guys will really enjoy this one. And of course, I apologize if I'm not on camera. I don't even own one. And to be honest with you, I've always enjoyed the theater of the mind, this sort of approach to my show. And I promise to keep you guys entertained and informed. Definitely check out the show. That is the Michael Deacon Program right here on realdealmedia.tv.
You don't miss it. And I've seen Michael in person. I've never seen his face. He wears a burqa, so it's all a mystery to me. It's all a mystery to me. I have no idea. Don't miss it tomorrow night. I'll be there with flying colors. Thank you, Michael Deacon.
You got it.
Okay. We're going to take this now, little video montage I put together for Barack Obama telling us exactly what he wants to do. Then I'm going to take some of your comments, questions, concerns. I'm even going to show that website of the Central Command website that's now being targeted, because I got to remind myself there's so much going on. But this is just a few years ago of the long-legged Mac Daddy, Barry Soetoro, the known as the best cocaine dealer south side of Chicago. They've seen since, Bootsy Collins, I believe. Well, check this out.
You just have to flood a country's public square with enough raw sewage. You just have to raise enough questions, spread enough dirt, plant enough conspiracy theorizing that citizens no longer know what to believe. Once they lose trust in their leaders, in mainstream media, in political institutions, in each other, in the possibility of truth, the game's won.
Did you see that? Amazing. Just how it's all out in the open. There's no sugarcoating it, is there? Let's take a few comments, questions, concerns before we get the H out of here. We have Michael Murray all the way from Facebook saying the following. I remember Kim Clement saying that the globalist scum will try to put a witch in the office. No, it won't happen, or something like that. Thanks. My question to you, which witch is it? Which witch is it? Here we have Sammy Lee. Thank you for being here. Jamie Raskin has already said that the Congress won't certify even if Trump wins is a landslide. He has said it will set the conditions for civil war. Yeah, they're going for civil war here. Because if they don't, these people are going to be swinging like a bunch of wind chimes from your grandma's little porch there. You see how that goes? Go back to Rumble here. We have Dame Pam. Hello, Dame. It's so good to almost see you. I wonder who has shares in lithium. Mine's pending. Very good. And by the way, I do have some Canadian news that we won't have time for tonight. I'll make it up this weekend. So much is going on Friday, Saturday, and tomorrow night. Here we have more people chiming in on Rumble. Dakini369 says plenty of bases in Tampa area, north and south of it too. Wow. Looks like the 2030 agenda playing out in real time. Yes, it is. We have Winlasser. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't see. She says they are forcing InfoWars to liquidate and to do a bidding war. Elon Musk should buy it, not Soros. I think Elon Musk will be buying it. He just slightly outbid me for InfoWars, so I'll just give it away. He probably will be buying it. Okay, finally here, I want to show this as some real deal mail. This is an incredible piece here. This is from Some Girls 123. Says her neighbor. Get this. This is an incredible story about a neighbor of one of our viewers that works at FEMA. She, from Some Girls 123 said the following, quote, I left town September 23rd, and he was supposed to be out of the apartment by the 1st of October. He told me about this, and at first was very evasive. Then outcome, he said, I'll also be working for FEMA. He had a party or some of his work friends over at the beginning of September. Suddenly, he was just not seen around anymore. Assumed he left, but then I thought, why is he keeping to himself so much? It was weird. Then suddenly these disasters are hitting. In addition, the federal government is trying to keep the temperatures up here so people vote. For the first 5 to 6 days, I got to keep top of the state, no chemtrails. It was floored. So yeah, there you have it. I mean, this is somebody who knew through a FEMA cohort that lived next to her that they were up to something, just like 10 years ago when I was in InfoWars, and I shared with the guys back then that FEMA and the EMTs that work there are planning for something where they're putting colors red and blue on certain houses, and they were being told in 2013, all the way back then, I shared this with many, that there was going to be a miracle jab rollout, unbeknownst to them how big, but a huge one, so they can pick up the surviving citizens after a catastrophic event. And here we are 10 years later. I'll be damned. Amazing how that works. That is... Here we have Scott Deloney says, spit it out, Dean Ryan. Okay. there you go, Scott. And finally, Tika Boom, you put it all in perspective. Thank you. I can't believe I used to think FEMA actually helped people. Yes, they did. We all did. Okay, members, if you are a Real Deal Media member, we're going to be doing a backstage with Jon Bowne. He wants to meet you, and please join us. Look at your appropriate areas for the private link. We'll be doing that. Don't be shy. I don't bite. John might bite. I don't think he does. Anyways, that's going to leave us now to, yes, it's true. Final thoughts. Final thoughts. Well, I thought I'd do something that in a time of just complete mistrust, loss of trust people have for those who might be in law enforcement or agencies where we know at the very top they're rotten, but there's some still good people that want to just help the average day person out. Kitty, get down from the tree. Well, in this little last piece I wanted to share with you, these are some good rescuers in law enforcement that helped a woman who was very swarmed and could have just been eaten alive. They said, no, we're going to help her anyways. And this shows the true American spirit still lives with the individuals who are awakened to it. Here it is, actually.
Usually, when sheriff's deputies get called to a home invasion to find some masked bandits, they're not already wearing prison stripes. A Poulsbo woman,
she felt that the raccoons were threatening,
called 911 after her home was surrounded by raccoons.
This is something you don't see every day.
35 years ago, you first started feeding some raccoons, and then when all of a sudden did it explode like this?
6 weeks ago.
6 weeks ago.
She told deputies she'd been leaving food out for the raccoons since the 1980s. Among the raccoon population here in Poulsbo, word got out about the midnight all-you-can-eat buffet. By October 3rd, nearly 100 of them had invaded the woman's property, deputies tell us, swarming around her home night and day.
They were shocked. They had never seen that many raccoons in one place.
Even neighbors like Wendy Kronk,
I'd say it's been about the last month or so I've noticed it,
are also seeing an uptick.
I've had several raccoons in the yard recently. My dogs have gotten in a scuffle several times with raccoons. I even had to take one of my dogs to the vet after tussling with a raccoon. And I've also noticed there's been a lot more hit raccoons up on the main road here.
Trapping and relocating them will cost the woman $500 per raccoon. Deputies say she's concerned. Kronk just hopes the issue gets resolved soon.
I do hope that somebody steps in and helps her, take care of this problem, and hopefully she'll quit doing it.
In Kitsap County, Maddie White, King 5 News.
Yeah, they saved her life. They didn't show the disgusting part. I kept that out of the video where she was nearly eaten alive by a bunch of hungry raccoons. So what does that tell you? Anyways, tomorrow night, don't miss it. You're going to see Michael Deacon live tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern to continue the news edition here as it is evolving like a bullet train. No doubt about it. I want to thank Jon Bowne for being here, Michael Deacon, and for the rest of us here at Real Deal Media. I'm Dean Ryan. So thank you for sharing a bit of your night. Always remember to stay tuned and stay awake. This is a world at war, and don't we know it? We're ready to win and destroy the enemy. Good night.